Welcome back. My name is Tammy. Let's begin reading Lesson 7. Too late. Two men took the parcel. Let's read the article and then answer this question. Did the detectives save the diamonds? The article says, the plane was late and detectives were waiting at the airport all morning. Detectives are police officers whose job it is to investigate or find out about crimes. Airport. An airport is buildings and runways on the ground for airplanes to be able to take off and land. We go to an airport when we want to fly to a different country. They were expecting a valuable parcel of diamonds from South Africa. Expecting, valuable, parcel, diamonds. Expecting means when we believe that someone or something will arrive, when we expect something to arrive. Valuable is something that's worth a lot of money. And parcel is a thing or a collection of things that we wrap in paper in order to be sent or delivered somewhere. And diamonds are precious stones that we get from the earth. A few hours earlier, someone had told the police that thieves would try to steal the diamonds. Steal. Steal means when someone takes another person's property without their permission. When the plane arrived, some of the detectives were waiting inside the main building while others were waiting on the airfield. Main and airfield. Main is the most important. Here it means it's the most important building in the airport. And an airfield is the ground area of an airport where planes take off and land. Two men took the parcel off the plane and carried it into the customs house, while two detectives were keeping guard at the door. Two others opened the parcel. Guard means to watch over a thing in order to protect it. To their surprise, the precious parcel was full of stones and sand. Precious stones and sand. Precious is something that's worth a great deal. It's a great value and it's not to be wasted. Stones are something that's hard. It's a hard material that comes from the ground. And sand is loose materials, the stuff that we find at a beach that we can make castles that children play in and make sand castles from. Now let's read this article again. The plane was late and detectives, police officers who solve crimes, were waiting at the airport, the place we go when we want to fly out to different countries, all morning. They were expecting a valuable parcel of diamonds from South Africa. They thought something would arrive that was worth a lot of money, and it was to be wrapped in paper. And what they thought was going to arrive was precious diamonds that we get from the earth. A few hours earlier, someone had told the police that thieves would try to steal the diamonds, take something without the other person's permission. When the plane arrived, some of the detectives were waiting inside the main building while others were waiting on the airfield. Some were waiting in the most important building while others were waiting on the ground area where planes take off and land. Two men took the parcel off the plane and carried it into the customs house, while two detectives were keeping guard at the door. Were keeping guard to make sure that they were going to protect something. Two others opened the parcel. To their surprise, the precious parcel was full of stones and sand. The thing that was worth a lot of money was full of hard material and loose material that we find at a beach. Now, let's answer this question. Did the detectives save the diamonds? The answer is no. The detectives did not save the diamonds. Now let's answer some questions about the article we just read. Number 1. How long were the detectives waiting at the airport? It says the detectives were waiting at the airport all morning. What were they expecting from South Africa? They were expecting a precious package, a parcel of diamonds. Number 3, where did two men take the parcel after the arrival of the plane? It says two men took the parcel off the plane and carried it into the customs house. Number 4, how many detectives opened it? Two others opened the parcel, so two detectives opened the parcel. And number 5, what was the parcel full of? The parcel was full of stones and sand. Now, let's read the article again and underline the verbs in the passage which tell us what was happening. The plane was late and detectives were waiting at the airport all morning. They were expecting a valuable parcel of diamonds from South Africa. A few hours earlier, someone had told the police that thieves would try to steal the diamonds. When the plane arrived, some of the detectives were waiting inside the main building, while others were waiting on the airfield. Two men took the parcel off the plane and carried it into the customs house, while two detectives were keeping guard at the door. Two others opened the parcel. To their surprise, the precious parcel was full of stones and sand. Now, letter B says, read the passage again and then answer these questions. The question number 1 says, what was happening when the plane arrived? What was happening when the plane arrived? The plane was late and detectives were waiting at the airport all morning. They were expecting a valuable parcel of diamonds from South Africa. A few hours earlier, someone had told the police that thieves would try to steal the diamonds. When the plane arrived, some of the detectives were waiting inside the main building, while others were waiting on the airfield. So when the plane arrived, some of the detectives were waiting inside the main building, while others were waiting on the airfield. Number 2, what was happening when two of the detectives opened the parcel? Two men took the parcel off the plane and carried it into the customs house. While two detectives were keeping guard at the door, two others opened the parcel. So while what was happening when two of the detectives opened the parcel? So while two detectives were opening the parcel, there were two detectives keeping guard at the door. Letter C. Write sentences of our own in answer to these questions. Now, each answer must begin with I was. So we're going to write sentences on our own and begin each sentence with I was. We're going to tell what we were doing. Number 1. What were you doing when I telephoned you? Let's see. I was watching television. Number 2. What were you reading when I saw you in the library this morning? Let's see. What was I reading when you saw me in the library this morning? Well, I was reading a mystery book. I was reading a mystery book. Number 3 says, what were you saying when I interrupted you? I was telling you about my vacation. So this is what I was doing. This tells what was happening with me. Section D says, what was happening and what happened? What was happening and what happened? We're going to give the correct form of the verbs in parentheses. So we're going to give the correct form of these verbs that are in parentheses. Number 1, as my father was leaving, the house, the postman was arriving. Number 2, work and sit. Tom was working in the garden while I was sitting in the sun. Was working while I was sitting in the sun. Number 3 says, as I blank down the street, I blank Charlie. As I was walking down the street, I met Charlie. As I was walking down the street, I met Charlie. Number 4, while he blanked the letter, he blanked a knock at the door. While he was reading the letter, he heard a knock at the door. Number 5, while mother blanked lunch, Janet blanked the table. While mother was preparing lunch, Janet was setting the table. Number 6, she blanked the tray when I blanked to her. She dropped the tray when I spoke to her, or she dropped the tray when I was speaking to her. Special difficulties. 2 men took the parcel off the plane. Now, there's 2 ways we can say things. 2 ways we can say things. Instead of saying he took off his coat, we could say he took his coat off, or he took it off. Instead of saying he put out the fire, we can say he put the fire out, or simply he put it out. Instead of saying she put on her hat, we can say she put her hat on, Or to make it shorter, we can simply say she put it on, talking about the hat. So, he took off his coat. He took his coat off. He took it off. He put out the fire. He put the fire out. Or he put it out. She put on her hat. She put her hat on. She put it on. They all mean the same thing. Now we can change the position of words. For instance, we can change the position of the word out. In this sentence, he put out the fire. We can say he put it out. But we cannot change the position of the word for. In this sentence, he is looking for his pen. We can't say he's looking his pen for. We can't say that. So we cannot change the position of the word for in this sentence. We have to say he is looking for his pen. So let's change the position of the words in these sentences if it's possible. Number 1 says, he gave away all his books. We can say he gave all his books away. Number 2, she woke up the children early this morning. She woke the children up early this morning. Number 3, he is looking for his umbrella. He is looking, we can't change this. It has to be he is looking for his umbrella. Number 4, they cut off the king's head. They cut the king's head off. Put on your hat and coat. Put your coat and hat on. Give it back to your brother. Give it back to your brother. We can't change back. Number 7, help me to lift up this table. Help me lift this table up. Number 8, take off your shoes and put on your slippers. Take your shoes off and put your slippers on. Number 9, he is looking at the picture. He is looking, here we can't change it. He is looking at the picture, we say. Number 10, send her away or she will cause trouble. She will cause trouble. Send her away. Number 11, they have pulled down the old building. They have pulled the old building down. Make up your mind. Make your mind up. He asked for permission to leave. We can't change for. She threw away all those old newspapers. She threw all those newspapers away. Comprehension. Number 1, the detectives were at the airport to meet a plane or to prevent a robbery. The detectives didn't prevent the robbery. Number 3, why were detectives waiting at the airport? What were they expecting? A valuable parcel of diamonds. Someone had told the police that thieves would try to steal the diamonds. This happened before the plane arrived. The detectives went into the building and waited inside. 2 men took the parcel off the plane. They took it off. The detectives were waiting, expecting a valuable parcel of diamonds. The parcel was valuable. It was precious. The thieves wanted to steal the diamonds. The detectives waited inside the main building. This was the most important building. Someone had filled the parcel with stones and sand. It was full of stones and sand. Let's arrange these group of words. Into the customs house, 2 men and carried it to the parcel off the plane. 2 men took the parcel off the plane and carried it into the customs house.